Does it make sense if you want to become a super successful achiever that you model those that have gone before you? It does to me. Hello again, everyone. I'm Eli's dad with Project Eli, where we educate, we lead, and we inspire. And once again, continuously reading new things, watching new videos, and so on. And because my mindset is so focused on personal development, not only for myself, but of course my number one son, Eli, and for you, I've come across, articles and videos and so on that put pieces together. One such article was called Why Successful People Spend 10 Hours a Week on Compound Time. And the article is written by Michael Simmons, and it's absolutely phenomenal. And it goes over things that we've talked about in the past, but once again, it puts some puzzle pieces together. When you take a look at some of the most successful people on the planet, you see that they dedicate a certain amount of time every day to something that doesn't seem like it's productive when you take it in isolation. But when you take what they're doing, the habits that they're doing, and over time, when you compound them, they get unbelievably great results. And I'm going to go over with you 6 different things pointed out by Michael Simmons in this article that we've talked about, frankly, many times before, but once again, let's put some puzzle pieces together. All right? And the first thing is, Mr. Simmons calls this compound time because, like we said, doing it for 1 hour one day isn't going to get the job done for you. But if you make it a habit and you do it consistently, over time, you will see some tremendous results and tremendous progress. And we'll go over some of the whys and becauses on that as well. All right. The first thing is writing a journal. Benjamin Franklin once said, an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Perhaps the source of Warren Buffett's true wealth is not just compounding his money, but the compounding of his knowledge, which has allowed him to make better decisions. Does that make sense? So let's go over some of these hacks. All right. First, keep a journal. It can change your life. Many top performers go beyond open-ended reflection. They often combine specific prompts with a physical journal. Benjamin Franklin every morning would always say to himself, what good shall I do this day? And each evening, what good have I done today? And he would write these things down. Steve Jobs stood at the mirror each day and said, if today were the last day of my life, would I want to do what I'm about to do? Does that make sense? Oprah Winfrey does the same thing. She starts each day with her gratitude journal, noting 5 things for which she's grateful. Legendary management consultant Peter Drucker made a decision. He wrote down what he expected to happen. Several months later, he compared the results of his investments with his expectations. Da Vinci filled thousands of pages with sketches and musings of his art, inventions, observations, ideas. Einstein amassed more than 80,000 pages of notes in his lifetime. Are you starting to get the idea? Ever notice that after you write something down, your thoughts, your plans, and experiences, you feel clearer and more focused? Researchers call that writing to learn. It helps you bring order and meaning to your experiences, and it becomes a potent tool for your knowledge and discovery. Once again, doing it once, one day, or one day a week is not going to get the job done. You have to do this on a continuous basis. I do this on a continuous basis with something I call talk thoughts, which is just things that I see, hear, feel, that I write down, and I don't know when I'm going to be able to use those pieces, but you know what? Somehow, some way, when I review them, I'm able to put pieces together. As a matter of fact, this very video is an example of that very concept. Second hack, and this one is going to sound strange to you, but you know what? It makes a lot of sense to me, and I'm going to go over the why and because with you. Naps can dramatically increase learning, memory, awareness, creativity, and productivity. Wow, naps. Hey, when you were a little kid, Eli, we had a struggle with you. Okay, Eli, time to take a nap. I don't want to take a nap. Okay, your mom and I used to always say, I don't want to take a nap. We would mimic what you were going to say. But you know what? Taking a nap is a great idea. And why is it such a good idea? Here's the why and because. You recall that when one of the main points that we've gone over in terms of being creative is to plant a seed in your mind, a burning desire that you have, get that vibe out there to the infinite mind, make that transmission, and then allow the infinite mind to transmit back to you solutions, puzzle pieces. Once again, it's so important that when you're doing this that you only think about the final outcome, not about things that you've tried and failed, because you're looking for input of things you haven't been able to put together yet. So if you put your failures out there, the infinite mind's going to focus on whatever transmission you give. So give the transmission of success, give the transmission of the final outcome, allow the infinite mind to give you some ideas, to give you some, create circumstances for you, give the infinite mind a chance to give you a mind flash, something that you already have in your subconscious, because you can't know something that you don't know already, all right? But you get a mind flash and it will give you an idea. So you plant the seed upward and you get seeds in return. Einstein used to break up his day by returning home from his Princeton office at 1:30, have lunch, take a nap, and then wake up with a cup of tea to start the afternoon. Edison napped for up to 3 hours a day. Winston Churchill considered his late afternoon nap non-negotiable. John F. Kennedy ate his lunch in bed before drawing the curtains for a 1 to 2 hour nap. Others who swore by daily naps include Leonardo da Vinci. 10-minute, he would take up to a dozen 10-minute naps a day. Napoleon, before battles, would take a nap. Ronald Reagan every afternoon. Lyndon Johnson, 30 minutes a day. Rockefeller, every day after lunch. Margaret Thatcher, an hour a day. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Arnold, every afternoon takes a nap. Modern science confirms that napping makes us not only more productive, but also more creative. I went over the why and because with you. It allows the infinite mind to an additional opportunity to communicate with you, and the more at-bats you have, the more likely you are to get a hit and score some runs. You're not going to get a hit and score runs every single time you take a nap. But the more opportunities, the more at-bats you have, the more successful you will be. Hack number 3. 15 minutes of walking per day can work wonders. Now, once again, this is from the article by Mr. Simmons, and people take walks. You know, it wasn't too long ago, Eli, when we were living at that house near the university, right next to the bike path, where I would every single morning, and sometimes in the middle of the night, believe it or not, get up and go for a ride on my bike. And it would be like a 10-hour, not 10-hour, it would be like a 10-mile ride. And it would take about an hour to do it. And during that bike ride, which is similar to walking, all right? I mean, you're there, you're driving, it's not like you're doing, heavy concentrating on, the road in front of you. It's pretty easy, and walking is the same way. And during that time, it would clear my mind. It would give me a chance to focus on things. And once again, doing it one day is not going to get the job done for you, but you do it on a continuous schedule for yourself. Once again, you set aside an hour for yourself during the day where this is what you're going to dedicate yourself to. Charles Darwin went on two walks a day, one at noon, one at 4 p.m. Beethoven would always embark on a long, vigorous walk, and he would carry pencils and sheet music just in case something came up. Charles Dickens would walk several miles a day, and he found writing mentally agitating, and he wrote, "If I couldn't walk fast and far, I should just explode and perish." Others who made a habit of walking, Gandhi took a long walk every day. Steve Jobs took a long walk when he had a serious talk he had to give. Aristotle gave lectures while he was walking. Winston Churchill walked every morning upon awakening. All right, I mean, these are some of the great achievers. How did they get themselves focused? How did they come up with some of these ideas? That's what this is all about. That's what these hacks are all about. You know, taking a walk refreshes your mind and your body, and it increases your creativity. Why does this happen? Because you are best able to receive input, inspirations, mind flashes when you are in a relaxed yet concentrating somewhat state. Seems contradictory, but that's when you get your best ideas. Once again, we've talked about this in the past. How many times you've been thinking about somebody's name, and you're thinking, you can't think, and then you're brushing your teeth, all right, boom, the person's name comes to you. It's when you have relaxed time that you get your best ideas. And the more chances you give yourself with this relaxed, focused time, the more chances you have to succeed, to be more creative. Reading is one of the most beneficial activities that you can invest in. Hack number 4. You know, you hear about these guys all the time. You hear about Bill Gates. You hear about Mark Zuckerberg. You hear about Warren Buffett. That these guys spend unbelievably large amounts of time of their day reading. First thing that comes to your mind is, well, if I was a zillionaire like they are, then I would have that time. You know what? These guys developed the reading habit before they became that zillionaire. Winston Churchill spent several hours a day reading biographies, history, philosophy, economics. Presidents that loved books, Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Lincoln, JFK, all voracious readers. Theodore Roosevelt read a book a day when he was busy and 2 to 3 a day when he had a free evening. Why is it so important? And once again, I want to go over with you the why and because on this. When you are reading, first of all, you're getting a concise result of someone else's long thinking, of someone else's, they spent a lot of time to put down what they're writing. So when you're getting the benefit, or you're taking someone else's that amount of time and making it that amount of time. And you're putting new ideas in your head. And the more ideas you have in your head, the more information that you have, the more bits and pieces that you have, the larger your puzzle can be. If we're putting puzzle pieces together, if you only know this much, your puzzle can only be that big. But if you have little bits and pieces, and they don't have to be related to your particular genius, to your particular specialty, but when you have little bits and pieces, you can put those things into your mind, into your subconscious, and they become available for the infinite mind to say, you know what might relate to what it is you're trying to do? What you thought about 5 years ago when you read that book, here it is, now apply it. So the more information that you have in your mind, the larger your library of books that the infinite mind can use to give you some new ideas. Reading books improves memory, increases empathy, and it de-stresses us, all of us, and that can help you achieve your goals. Books compress a lifetime's worth of someone's most impactful knowledge into a format that demands just a small amount of our time. Is that a pretty good return on investment? Well, I think you can see that the people that are the super achievers, you know, Mark Cuban, you know, once again reads 3 hours a day. Arthur Blank, the owner of the Atlanta Falcons, a billionaire entrepreneur, 2 hours a day. Elon Musk read 2 books a day when he was younger. Zuckerberg, of course, reads a lot. Jeff Bezos read hundreds of science fiction novels by the time he was 13. All right? Science fiction, Amazon, I don't see it. Well, maybe I do. All right? Number 5. Conversation partners lead to some surprising breakthroughs. Recently, I did a video on the importance of having a workout partner. I've had several. I spoke about Gary Weiss was a business associate of mine. Bruce Rosen was somebody that I played basketball with in the 8th grade. All right, we worked together. I mean, I'm not saying that, Bruce Rosen and I were exactly Lennon and McCartney, but think about people that come together and the two minds, the brainstorming, the combination is greater than the sum of the parts. The result is bigger than the sum of the parts. Marie and Pierre Curie, Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak in their garage creating Apple. And the other thing is, when you have this regular conversation, when you work with people, find a tribe, find people that are interested in what you want to do, get together with them. One of the things that I remember about under the heading of a tribe is when I was first starting to be a basketball coach, after the games, all the coaches in the league would meet at this one particular watering hole. They would have a brewski and they'd talk about all the games. And of course, while they're talking, there would be little anecdotal stories that, well, this happened and that happened, and some of them would be funny, some of them would be about a referee, some of them would be about a player. All these different things, and you're part of the tribe, and I couldn't wait. It's after the games was even more fun in some cases than the game itself. You're there and you're learning new stuff, and people are thinking the way that you think. They have the same goals that you have. That puts you in a position to know more. It's a very important hack. Find a workout partner or find a tribe of people to work with. Number 6. Success is a direct result of the number of experiments that you perform. There's a reason Jeff Bezos says our success at Amazon is a function of how many experiments we do per year, per month, per week, per day. One big winner pays for all of the losing experiments. This is what he said. Given a 10% chance of a 100 times payoff, you should take that bet every time. But you're still going to be wrong 9 times out of 10. We all know that if you swing for the fences, you're going to strike out a lot. But you're also going to hit some home runs. The difference between baseball and business, though, is that baseball has a truncated outcome distribution. When you swing, no matter how well you connect with the ball, the most runs you can get, if the bases are loaded, is 4. In business, every once in a while, you'll step up to the plate and you'll score 1,000 runs. We're talking about return on investment here. So, this is the key point. Your batting average in terms of doing something, successful experiments, doesn't have to be 300. Doesn't even have to be 100. If you have one particular success, you can explode and score 1,000 runs or more with that success. Does that make sense? Experiments don't just happen in the real world either. Our brain has an incredible ability to simulate reality and explore possibilities at a much faster rate and a lower cost. Einstein used thought experiments, imagining himself chasing a light beam through space as an example, to help construct breakthrough scientific theories. You can use them to set your imagination free on slightly smaller conundrums. The journals of Thomas Edison, Da Vinci, and other luminaries aren't just filled with writing, they're also filled with sketches and mind maps. So we have that capability of using our imagination. Stand-up comedy is far from inventing, but experimentation is just as key in the arts as it is in science. Chris Rock, one of my favorite comedians, he prepares for huge shows in like Madison Square Garden or other unbelievably big venues with routines that he practices in small clubs for months on end. He tries out new material. He gets instant feedback. Why? People either laugh or they don't laugh. All right? use experiments. That's how you find out. So if he has, 15 jokes and 2 of them are funny, guess what? He gets rid of the other 13, he keeps the 2, and he knows it's going to work for him. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, all life is an experiment. The more experiments you make, the better. In a world where everyone is speeding up, slow down, take an hour for yourself. We've given you 6 different hacks that you can take. Take an hour. Do one of them in an hour and do it on a consistent basis. Are you going to see results from that 1 hour? No. But if you compound that over time, your results will be exponential. You've seen other great people do that. If you want to be a great achiever, it pays to model the great achievers. And because we will never end a meeting on a philosophical note, let's remember to get out there and to charge! I'm Eli's dad.